NLP, Neurolinguistic Programming. The Soul Gang was talking about neurolinguistic programming last week, and I was sharing I have 25 or so years of experience with NLP, learning, using, teaching, and asked if folks thought it would be helpful if I made a video and a post to just share some of my perspective, and there was a resounding and very honoring, yes, do that. So here we are. NLP is a long-standing set of communication techniques that can be very helpful for people and relationships and connection. NLP can also be, and is very often, used to manipulate other people into taking action or spending money or participating in a thing, and it is an inappropriate use of power and communication technique. The research is mixed on whether NLP is highly effective in manipulating behavior and mental processing. I believe that it is absolutely possible to manipulate people with NLP. And my teacher, my mentor, who taught not only me, but thousands of people how to leverage neurolinguistic programming. She was a student of Dr. Robert Cialdini, taught me, and again, many others, the work of Cialdini and others, and the positive side of NLP, and also what manipulation looks like, how to see it, how to avoid it, how to challenge it. And those are some of the things that I want to share today, hopefully without making this talk too terribly long or boring. So what is neurolinguistic programming? Neurolinguistic programming is a set of communication and change techniques that claim, and again, the research is a little bit mixed, but claims that language, mental patterns, and behavior can be reshaped in useful ways. And it can be used for support in clinical settings for things like PTSD, PTSD, GAD, general anxiety disorder, depression, etc. I think a good way to think about it is that NLP style communication has a lot in common with general good communication and connection relationship skill. Things like paying close attention to someone's language, reflecting back what you've heard or paraphrasing, reframing situations, building rapport, choosing words carefully. These are very empowering aspects of NLP. However, NLP also is leveraged as a sales and influence tactic. And this is where it really slips into just kind of a gross manipulation, particularly when the real goal is control or compliance or emotional leverage, and it isn't clarity and consent. And so this is a reason to be cautious when someone presents NLP like a magical system for reading or steering people. I have never seen a space as riddled with, just this promoting of magical sales techniques that turn, shoppers into converted buyers and so on, focused on NLP. And it's kind of gross. And despite my experience with NLP, I do not pitch or create offers or do these kinds of things that leverage this communication, because this kind of programming is powerful and it should be used for good. So, how do we use it to empower, not to manipulate? A good question to ask, and one of the things that I learned from my mentor, is always check in with whose agency increases. Is it the agency of you, or is it the agency of someone else? Communication tools are ethical when they help someone understand themselves more clearly, feel more, not less choice, regulate emotion without bypassing reality. So making decisions that fit within their own values and leaving a conversation feeling more free, less pressure, not less free and more pressured. Examples of empowering use of NLP can include reframing. Hey, here's another way to look at that situation that may give you more room to move, more freedom to choose. Language matching, using language that helps someone to feel understood. Clarifying outcomes. Let's talk about what a good outcome would look like for you. Helping someone notice what helps them feel grounded, so that they're able to access information and feel empowered to use it on their own. So basically, the ethical standards are very simple. Be transparent about your intent. Preserve another person's right to disagree or ask additional questions. And never use emotional insight to override their consent. And so, what does it look like or feel like when NLP is being used for manipulation? And this is the stuff that I was like overwhelmed and infuriated by at it here in school in particular. As I was building relationships when I was new to school, and I was expecting and really looking forward to building relationships and connections, I found that easily 7 times out of 10, people were really looking for the opportunity to sell something and to kind of hack at NLP, most of it done poorly. And it was very frustrating. And so I'm a person that really can see that 10 miles away. And so there were a number of relationships that either started and ended quickly, or that in fact I'm still waiting to see how many times I have to say, cut that shit out before someone actually decides to show up in a real and authentic way. So, artificial rapport is a very common one. People can seem uncannily just like you very quickly. The connection feels very accelerated. It doesn't feel earned. It doesn't feel like the normal way trust and connection is built. Emotional pacing towards a conclusion. That's never natural. That's always manipulative. This is when you might feel someone validating your feelings only long enough to steer you somewhere they already want you to go. Oh, yeah, I know it's so hard when new members are joining your community and you really want to be in touch with them. And sure, that's why you need a CRM. That's why you've got and I know the best CRM. I've tried them all. I've used them all. This is something that you know absolutely you need. It's going to help you not feel like you're losing people through the cracks. Let's talk about that. So taking an emotion or validating a feeling only long enough to steer you to a thing is manipulation. Another thing that can be a little bit more subtle that happens often is this redefining your concern until the original thing you were concerned about is gone, and you're suddenly talking about something that has nothing to do with your original point. This is called loaded reframing. And so it's just a little bit of a shift and then a little bit of a shift and then a little bit of a shift. So for example, I might say, I really can't keep up with all these notifications. I have so many notifications and I want people to feel valued. And I'm wondering, are there better strategies for getting through notifications in a day? And that reframing can sound like, yeah, I've been under 500 notifications since I can remember. And there are a lot of good conversations that are happening within those notifications that can be missed. And if you don't, really get to the notifications like you're saying, then you're missing those conversations. And if you miss those conversations, you're never going to really be able to upsell someone to your premium thing. And I know that's what you want to do. I've got a really good way to help you take those existing free members and move them to your premium product. And that's really going to help you achieve your goals. Did you see what happened? I just said I can't keep up with the notifications, and suddenly I'm selling people to a premium product through a CRM I didn't even ask for. Okay. Loaded reframing is a way that manipulation can happen with NLP. Obviously, false urgency, like you're pushed to act before you can reflect. It's only today, it's only by midnight, it's only, I'll send you the link and make sure, by 4 o'clock. Like that's just like generally bullshit. Choice narrowing. There's a presentation of, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 different options, but they all go to the same place, that same one thing. That's called choice narrowing, and it is manipulative. Another one is identity pressure, taking something you want to believe about yourself and leveraging it as a degree of influence because it helps you to identify with something you want to believe about yourself. A leader would do this. Somebody who's really a leader is going to be all over this. The best leaders I know have, done this months ago. Or, maybe I've said, I'm really trying to be serious about this space and I'm having fun, but I really want to be serious about it. And then like 3 or 4 sentences or conversation points later, somebody serious would like really not hesitate. So you got to watch out for that kind of identity pressure as manipulation. And my least favorite one is confusion. Confusion is an NLP tactic. This is a lot of like clever language, jargon, intensity, very, very speedy pace. So like you stop evaluating because you're just trying to like keep up or get out of the way, or it's just it's just awful. It's an awful thing to do to someone. So how can not that you're going to become expert in like all of these categories of manipulation, but you can check in with your heart like usual about everything. So you can ask yourself, do I feel more clear or do I feel foggy? Do I feel like it's okay to say no, or do I feel like that's going to elicit some additional strong response? You can also ask, what is this person curious about me? Is this about my actual needs, or is this about redirecting my needs into something that is helpful for them? Are they helping me to think? Are we thinking together? Are we being thinking partners? Or am I being ushered to comply? Am I being guided to compliance? It's also good to just ask yourself the question, is this a person with whom trust was built naturally over time? Naturally over time? Or was there just this like sudden intense sense of being understood? Sudden and intense. I get you. I know it. We're the same, you know. Try and slow down the conversation. If you try to slow down the conversation, is that respected or is it resisted? Does it elicit irritation? These are questions that can really help to check in with whether or not the patterns that you're seeing are indications of manipulation. Things you can do in the moment, you can slow the tempo down. I want to just think about this before I decide. You can go back to the specifics. What exactly are you asking me to agree to? You can separate emotion from commitment. You can feel seen and never say yes to something. And in fact, that's a nice way to be seen. Thank you for recognizing where I am. That's really wonderful. I appreciate it. There's nothing to say yes to. Just recognize feeling seen. Manipulative influences weaken in the face of concrete requests. So ask, can I see this in writing? Send that over to me in a chat. Send that over to me in an email. I'll take a look at it. Name it. Name it. I feel pressure. I feel rushed. This isn't feeling right to me. Or be also very clear that you're not making a decision. I am not making a decision. I am not buying anything. I just want to talk. I want to talk. I want to learn. I want to figure out what I think, what a good outcome for me is. I'm not making a decision. I'm not signing up. I'm not sending money. I'm not. Okay? So, a good ethical rule is that communication should always empower by increasing truth, choice, dignity. It is manipulative when it hides intent. It bypasses reflection. It reduces freedom. So, long and short, probably longer than shorter. Language is very powerful. Rapport is very powerful. Reframing is very powerful. And so you want always to be left with more sovereignty over your own mind and your own choices. And when you are in a space offering services, you want to be the broker of sovereignty, clarity, reflection, empowerment. That is how to use NLP in a positive and well intended way. That is empowerment versus manipulation. So I hope this helps. And I'm wishing you a wonderful day. Talk soon. Let me know what you think. Yeah, I want to know what you think. Let me know. Would love to hear your thoughts or your expertise.